action. Very isolated. Pick up a boundary south of Amarillo from Hereford to Tulia to Clarendon. That's a cold front. Then we have the dry line off to the east. But the storm of note has prompted a severe thunderstorm warning up in the eastern part of Texas County. It popped up over Hooker. Now it's pushed off to the southeast near Adams and Baker. And just going to strafe, looks like north of Hardesty. Storm might have some quarter-size hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds as it pushes off to the east-southeast there. So folks around Turpin and then over towards Balco. Highway 412, we'll be monitoring this to see if it holds that intensity. If it gets stronger or drops any potential severe weather. Right now, not a tornadic situation, but we do have eyes on it. Again, our storm intercept crew is nearing that storm to take a look. I do also want to point out that down across the southeast part of the area, we have some attempts at thunderstorm development just off to the east of Turkey. We're back to the southwest of Esteline, back to the west of Childress. We have bubbled a little bit. It's also north of Matador down in Motley County. That will be tracking towards Childress and Cottle counties. So we'll keep an eye on that also. Again, the intensity there is much lower. I do want to get out and see what we can see from our chase teams there, get an update from them as they leave Lipscomb County, kind of drift up towards our severe storm. And once again, here in just a few minutes, we've got Kevin Sully. I'll give you a little more detailed look about what we're looking at. I do want to let you know that we don't have tornado warnings, even though we do have a tornado watch, something we're very carefully watching. And just know that most of our area is going to skate through the evening and overnight hours without much concern. Right now, let's send it out to Alex and Caleb as they're on the road. Now, let's see what they're looking at. You guys want to give us an update?
Yeah, Dave. So right now we're heading west on 15. We are eyeing that storm that popped up by Hooker, and so we're kind of making our way in that direction, and we're really keeping an eye on it. So far, it's the only thing that's really popped up right now. So we're kind of heading towards. Right now, we're about past Derazet, and then heading towards Booker. Coming up to Derazet, then we'll head on towards Booker. So just ride along with us, and we're gonna go keep an eye on this storm that just developed outside of Hooker and see what we can see.
Didn't really see the top of it just about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah. Well, and I'm keeping an eye on it, so it's right now it's kind of just doing its thing. Watching to see if it'll cycle or not.
Boy, the temperature's really dropped.
Has it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're also going to keep an eye out for any other developments that might pop up.
I have a mascot.
In this area. Yeah, a mascot.
This fly would not.
You got a pet fly?
Yeah, right on the steering wheel.
Well, he's going to ride along with us, I guess.
We need an inside cam, a remote inside cam, so you can
Zoom around, yeah. And here's the fly that won't leave Alex alone.
Alright, coming into Derazet.
Still heading to the west.
This fly
Let's see. Everybody migrated.
Oh yeah.
Formed a train. Chaser train.
I don't know if the storm's cycling or what.
That's why I'm watching, because it's
have that purple core in it.
And I'm wondering if it used up all its juice. Because look at the
you're
wind.
You're using Amarillo radar, right?
Yeah.
Just 2-lane.
No.
No. Oh no.
No. It's not.
I know. Sorry. What did Kevin say?
Well, we are getting a rotation too.
What radar are you using? Amarillo?
Yeah. Let's see if I can look at it from. Oh no, I'm on DDC.
So Dodge
Check it
City.
out. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, good evening. We've got a first alert evening for a portion of the Panhandle. There's a a tornado watch in the northeastern portions of the region. Actually, a lot going on and not much going on at the same time. Northeastern part of the region, eastern portion of the Oklahoma Panhandle, yellow counties under tornado watch until 10 o'clock. This thunderstorm that is now in portions of Beaver and Texas County, there's the county border right there, is severe warned, meaning at least 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. There is some broad rotation on it, so we're going to watch it very, very carefully. It shows that it has weakened a little bit in the last couple of scans, but we need to keep an eye on it. The severe thunderstorm warning is until 6:15. The interesting part of the storm is moving southeastward toward Highway 412. That's going to go just to the east of Hardesty, and there's still possibly some hail there that would approach the Highway 83 corridor south of Turpin. So keep that in mind as we go on through the next hour or so. A couple of thunderstorms trying to develop across the southeastern portion of the region. Nowhere near severe yet, but there is some potential in and around Kittiquay, Turkey, Childress, northward toward Memphis, southward toward Matador. We're going to watch them, and I'm going to come back in just a couple of minutes with a bigger radar update and the forecast in just a few minutes. Greg? Lindsay?
All right, welcome back. So Kevin just gave an update. We're making our way west. We're going down 15, probably about to approach Booker, and we're heading in the direction of the storm that he's talking about. So we're really keeping an eye on it. We're going to try to get closer to actually put eyes on it and see what it's doing. We're also, keeping an eye in this general area just to make sure that nothing else pops up and that, we notice it if it does. Interesting. It's not.
Is it moving?
It is moving.
It is.
It's kind of a southeasterly direction. So I'm wondering if,
Get down to here.
yeah.
that direction, and you
Yeah.
kind of see it on the screen.
Yeah.
It's probably a horrible
Try.
decision, but we'll see.
We're trying to keep the bugs off of it. 'Cause that is, because of all the moisture, that is one thing I'm noticing a lot of.
What?
Bugs.
Yeah.
Lots of bugs.
Here we go. Not that way. Man, as soon as I get there, it's going to be. There we go.
Yeah, you can see it. So that is the storm that started by Hooker. Okay, so right now it kind of looks like it's heading maybe in a southeasterly direction. So it's right below Turpin, that area. But as you can see, we're getting eyes on it. We're getting closer, so we're gonna see what it's doing.
All right, got it. Thank you. Oh,
But
nothing. Thank you, Dave. We're looking at this, but not behind us.
we have some.
Nothing. I guess from our vantage point, the base is still kind of high, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, because there's the back end right there.
Storm's very LP. Oh, look, they put a in the convective discussion.
Oh, down by Childress and Paducah. Was that for? Oh, and now there's one by Perryton too.
They just issued a mesoscale discussion on kind of this storm in this area. Just a heads up.
All right, first alert evening, and so we have the Weather Atlas with Alex Ricarte and Caleb Leslie heading in the direction of storm in the Oklahoma Panhandle. They're in Booker right now. We'll be showing some pictures on our stream live on Facebook and NewsChannel10.com. View first, northeastern part of the region is a tornado watch, and that goes in effect until 10 o'clock. There's a lot going on, but this is the main show right now. Severe thunderstorm warning on a cell that is just about to straddle the border between Beaver and Texas counties. That's going to go for a couple of more minutes at least. I have a feeling it may be reissued and just include Beaver County, but we'll see what the Weather Service wants to do there. The bulk of the storm will stay just to the east of Hardesty. It's going to come across 412 here west of Balco in just the next, say, 5 to 10 to 15 minutes. There's a little bit of what we call an inflow notch and some rotation showing up on Doppler radar. It's not a tornado-warned storm yet. We're going to keep an eye on that very, very closely. With its southeast movement, it'll go across the Texas-New Mexico border here, probably closer to 30 to 40 minutes, and we'll hope that the bulk of it will stay north of Perryton, but keep checking in with us, and we'll keep you posted on that one. Some weaker thunderstorms have developed across the southeastern portion of the region. These are not severe yet, but a little later on, there's some potential. You can see a couple north of Matador. They're moving eastward. Here's one west of Childress. Again, just a brief shower, maybe a rumble of thunder at this point. I want to look up into southeastern Colorado. This storm, which went through Trinidad with a tornado warning on it, will come across the border and maybe affecting Union County in the next 30 to 45 minutes. We'll watch that one as well. So I mentioned a lot going on. We have a lot of boundaries. Here's one right here. Here's one right here. Here's one right here. What does all that mean? Well, the potential for some storm along any of those boundaries. The potential for Amarillo and Canyon for storms this evening is not zero, but it's pretty low at this point. Everybody's gotten the heat, but some cloud cover kept temperatures down a little bit. These are the current numbers. Tulia at 101, Portales 102, but a giant range. We're only 82 in Guyman and 84 in Dalhart. There is some cooler air coming with a cold front that'll come through tonight into the early morning hours. You can see the blue arrows take over, and by 9 a.m. that front should be pretty much all the way through the area. That'll drop the temperatures by about 20 degrees, and a fresh north wind will last for, well, only about a day. Here's one of the computer forecast models. It is very bullish on some strong storms across the northeastern portion of the region. That, again, is obviously the tornado warning area. We're going to keep an eye on those. It's not a guarantee, but by even 7, 8, 9 o'clock, the northeastern portion of the region is favored. That said, still some storms possible in Union County and across the southeastern portion of the region as well. Later tonight, there's still the possibility of some redevelopment during the overnight periods across the northeast, but the atmosphere should be stabilized there, so the threat for severe weather would be pretty low. All right, so the best chance or the highest likelihood of severe storms for the next couple of hours would be the northeastern portion of the region, east of Spearman, Perryton, north of Canadian, and then on up into the northwestern portions of Oklahoma and portions of Kansas as well. The news will continue in just a couple of minutes.
All right, thank you.
All right, welcome back. We can actually see the base of the storm. So now we're on the other side of Booker. We're on the west side of Booker, and we're still heading west, kind of towards Perryton. But now that we have eyes on this storm, it'll give us a better vantage point to where we can keep an eye on it and see whatever, actually what it's doing. The interesting part is it, looks, very low precip, now, so we can actually see the base of the storm, which, is a good thing to be able to keep an eye on it easier. So we're really watching that. Let's see, right over here. You see it over on the far right side there. Keep an eye there. Still is kind of a notch there, but I don't think that it's a real tight rotation, so.
Sounds like someone's getting a drink.
Yeah. The ice box.
Yeah, I respect the workers here. You can't just fly by.
Yeah, gotta keep people safe.
As tempting as it is, you have to still obey the law.
Repeat that.
Oh man.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so there was a CG. CG's on the right.
This is gonna be a mess.
Yeah.
It goes down to.
We stopped again. Okay.
There you go.
Oh, well, and just like, most places in the Texas Panhandle, we are now in a construction zone. And we are stopped on the highway. So, luckily for us, we can see the storm from here. Keep an eye on it while we wait for permission to move forward. So, it is just a fact of life. Getting a lot of lightning to the north of us.
thing I got dirt road.
Yeah, look. So
I need to find a road to the north and then cut over.
well, yeah. Because there's a north option back in Booker, but I don't know what our east option is after that.
Just tilt that over. No, I don't want to go into Perryton. I want to stay kind of on the northern side.
Okay.
So we're trying to find a road that will.
We'll go up there.
Here's. I don't know what the road that is right there.
Let me see if I can find it. Okay, it just says 11. It goes north to, but it dead ends into Uncle Sam Road.
I need to take it to 83.
You take it to
So that's what it shows on here.
because we're on 15, right?
Yeah.
And there's Booker. So there we are. Oh, I see. Okay.
So this storm has public reported ping pong size hail area southwest of Hooker.
Okay, you're coming up to 25.
25. Why is that guy stopped on the side of the road?
Okay.
Let's push.
All right. Thank you, Alex and Caleb. Sorry about that. Road construction. Can't seem to get away from that. Good news is we don't have any tornadoes on the ground right now. We are in the first alert situation that we're tracking, but really only for the northeast and kind of take a look at the southeast. I don't think it's going to be all that crazy. Live shot from Guyman. See some stormy skies off in the distance. If you're in Guyman, you're in good shape. Let's go through our watches and warnings or advisories. We have a couple of them. All the yellow you see in the northeast, that's our tornado watch, set to go until 10 p.m. That's Beaver County. It's Ochiltree, Lipscomb, Robertson, Hemphill counties until 10 p.m. We have not had any tornado warnings. We do have that severe thunderstorm warning you see there that now extends into the northern part of Ochiltree County and parts of Beaver County. Further south, hit that purple color there, that's where we have a severe thunderstorm watch. This is new. That's going to include, looks like Hall, Childress, and Briscoe counties until 11 p.m. Even there, we haven't had any warnings. A couple of storms that we'll take a look at here on radar. As we scan around, and kind of hit and miss. We got one big storm, one supercell coming out of Texas into Beaver County, and then some less intense scattered storms down across the south. Here's the one that has prompted our severe thunderstorm warning, and this is the one that Alex and Caleb have been showing you pictures of. Popped up around Hooker and Adams, Oklahoma, off to the east safely of Guyman, east of Hardesty. It's pushing southeast. It looks like Balco into the northern part of Ochiltree County near Perryton is where we will focus. That's moving southeast at a pretty good clip. So if you're down around Perryton, Booker, Darrozette, we'll keep close tabs on that. I'm watching the feed. No lowerings or funnels or anything like that.
Status with the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. AC's president will formalize the status at a signing on June 26th. The Alliance will continue the college's work in community outreach, along with training and education.
Warnings and weather will be from that.
All right, and then here's the southern storms. Just a handful of non-severe little blips there north of Matador, drifting east towards Paducah into Cottle County. Again, that's where we have the new severe thunderstorm watch. So far, those have been pretty well behaved. One other storm of note, you see storm that popped up around Trinidad, Colorado, right there on I-25. Earlier, it had a tornado warning on it. no longer has that, but it is pushing southeast, and it is a severe warning just outside of our area. Should hold together, though. It should push into the northern part of Union County, not too far from Folsom. We're going to keep a close watch on that. So far, again, that is non-severe. I'm going to back us up, and this, again, is the storm of note. A severe thunderstorm warning, eastern part of Texas County, western part of Beaver County. And it looks like it's going to cross Highway 412 right now. And as I zoom in just a little better on the storm, let's see, looks like Bryan's Corner, Highway 83 down to 412, Balco might be kind of grazed by that. The bulk of that, I think, is going to move across the intersection there, 412 and 83, and then north of Perryton. So we'll have to keep an eye on Perryton to see if it, shifts any further south. Also off to the east, there's Booker. You can see Booker kind of in line to catch that storm. So that's where we have Alex and Caleb out there watching it closely. Good news is it's wide open out there. They can see the base of the storm. No wall clouds, no lowerings right now, but things happen quickly. Conditions are favorable for rotating storms right there where they are. So I'm going to kick it back out to them and get the latest, see exactly where they're positioned and what their strategy is, where they're going to track that storm. Back on you guys.
All right, hey, thanks, Dave. So we are currently still going west on 15. You can see the base of the storm right now.
So they're right
we're
here.
trying to get through this construction area. They're repaving the road, and they're doing a gorgeous job. It's just really slowing us down at the moment. So we're going to try to get through this and then find a northerly option. Okay, thanks, Dave. So so we're trying to look for kind of a northerly thing to kind of get us out of this bit here, so that we can get a little closer to the base of the storm, which is kind of looking at. What we're seeing right now is there is some rain in there, some rain curtains. We heard some reports of some pretty decent size hail, so that's something that need to watch out for. But luckily for us, we've got a great view of it, and we can see it really well. So right now we're just trying to get through this road paving. Ooh, CG. Man, we cannot have this. We're gonna come back this way. So, all right. So we're through and the problem is they have it down to one lane. So it's a.
You have to wait for the pilot car.
Yeah, you have to wait for them to take you down the road, and we're keeping a safe speed so that we don't endanger any of the workers or anything like that. But if that storm keeps tracking this way, they may want to hurry up. I wouldn't want to get caught in that. Little tiny bit of lowering on that base, but nothing real strong. It is very pretty looking, though. One thing that we noticed is just the that right side looks really smooth, and at one point, because of the striations in it, almost looked like it was blurry or kind of moving in slow motion. It was really interesting. So now that we're closer, we can really see that it's just the definition.
The last scan was really interesting looking. All right, here's my road's coming up here.
So that's County Road 20, right there. You're looking for F, right?
This one, yes.
Okay. All right, so we're heading a little bit north.
Can't take this one once it rains.
Nope. Look at the look, you can see the pancaking in the...
Yeah. Zoom in on that.
That's really cool. All right, so you can really see... We're going to tilt up just a little bit. I'm going to zoom in. You can see the layers in the rotation of the base of this storm. I mean, looks like a stack of pancakes.
Definitely cannot take this road when it rains.
No. It's already got crazy grooves in it, yeah.
Oh no, we're not.
No, we're trying to avoid that. That would be not so ideal. Watching that bottom right side. Kind of fingering a little bit. Are picking up. Just a little bit. There we go. Stand by.
Well, good evening once again. Things heating up here for portions of the Panhandle on another First Alert Day. We had the tornado watch for the northeastern part of the region, all the counties in yellow. That goes until 10 o'clock, and just added a short time ago for the southeastern portions of the region. We have a severe thunderstorm watch, and that's in effect at this point until 11 o'clock tonight. The Weather Atlas is in the Oklahoma Panhandle heading for a severe warned storm. Caleb Leslie, Alex Ricarte there. Guys, tell us where you are. What are you seeing? Turn up.
North, so this is the storm that you're talking about. This is kind of the base of it. We've got an eye on it. Right now we can see some rain curtains and stuff, but we've got visual right now, and we're just keeping a really close eye on this storm as it
drops. We're in perfect position.
Yeah. So, but yeah, as you can see, Kevin, it's there. Yeah.
Our stream is streaming continuously on our Facebook page, YouTube, and NewsChannel10.com. But let's take a closer look at this storm on radar. It is again severe warned. It is now moving out of Texas County. So even though it says you're included, this goes until 7 o'clock, but it's primarily now for Beaver County and then the northern portion of Ochiltree County. Perryton, you are not officially included. I would not be surprised if this came a little bit further to the southeast, and so Perryton, it's still probably 20 to 30 minutes north of you, but it is coming. So you'll start to hear some thunder from this one and maybe pick up some rain. We're watching it evolve. There are a couple of things that suggest it could spin up a tornado fairly quickly, so that's why we're on it with the vehicle and watching it. We'll keep you posted, of course, break in if we need to with a tornado warning there north of Perryton. Scattered thunderstorms developing across the southern portion of the region, mainly just northeast of Lubbock, but weaker storms in and around Matador will continue eastward toward Paducah. Childress, you could catch a brief storm. This one obviously is severe warned, but again, that's in the Lubbock market, not directly in our area. Into the southeastern portion of Colorado, this storm had a tornado warning in Trinidad a short time ago, but it is moving southeastward, and so will be affecting, even though it looks like it's weakening, it will be affecting portions of Union County, and the suggestion there is that some strong thunderstorms could still develop over the next couple of hours in that region. For Amarillo and Canyon, I think we're quiet. It's going to be tough to develop anything right here, but there's some boundaries you can see where storms will oftentimes like to develop. Don't see anything right now. We'll watch that through the evening. We do have a cold front that should shut off the severe weather threat later tonight and bring us some cooler air. Number of locations getting to triple digits today. We're going to drop at least 20 degrees with a fresher north wind coming up tomorrow. We're keeping an eye on all of these storms. Again, we're streaming on all of our platforms, so we'll keep you posted and come back with a radar update in just a little bit.
All right, thanks, Kevin. So here's an eye on the storm. We are really watching, to make sure that, if anything spins up, we're here. You can see some rotation.
Is that dust, or it's hard to tell with the wind farm?
Yeah.
Back down there, now at the ground.
Let's see. All right, we're on the move, guys. We're gonna get a better visual. I see what you're talking about. I think that's a tractor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a tractor because I can see the headlights. So, we've got south options, but not very many good southeasterly options. I mean, if you follow 83, eventually you get to southeast, but I don't know how far out of our... This would be a good spot.
Well, last time I said that was a good spot.
This is a good road.
All right, let's figure out what we're doing here. I'm definitely not going to take that other
Look
road.
at that left side. See the movement?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to point us up a little bit.
You almost need to go drop south of Perryton on 377.
So,
All right, hold on tight.
okay. All right, we're repositioning. So let me get the shot back for y'all. Just 1 second. There you go. Get it back. There we go. Got a little rising scud.
We haven't put tour possible on it. They just have hell. It's really trying to get its act together.
Yeah.
There should be a road up here
So
I can take.
to the west.
What is it? Loop bet this is it.
A lot of movement back there.
Alright, flip around.
There we go. But yeah, you see that motion there? It's kind of moving up into the.
Yeah, I can't.
Because I know you're trying to go. Keep an eye on that.
I trust you. Make sure if you want, you can open and close the iris if you need to.
I'm gonna be looking back here for a second.
All right. All right.
Okay, sounds good, Dave.
We are on the loop in Perryton right now. Our goal is to get to 377 just south of town.
What is that? Oh, we've got dirt. We've got inflow.
That's what that is.
Look at that.
It's going to get. We're repositioning right now. Really, we would be on 15, but since there's so much construction, it goes down to one lane. We'll have to take an alternative route, which we're going to go drop down to 377, just southeast of Perryton.
Yeah, look
That'll
over
take us
there.
to just south of Booker to avoid that construction. So just hang with us as we just drive through Perryton, and soon we'll get you another shot of that base.
There's a lot of dirt.
A lot of inflow, Caleb's saying. Now we go on 377 then.
Yeah, I'm really keeping an eye on that. Because you see, you got all this
Yeah.
dirt, and it was like lifting straight up. I can't tell if
Look
that's
for you may need to zoom out and just kind of look and see if you see a little funnel.
funnel.
Yeah, yeah, right there. All those chasers will be.
Stuck in that.
They took the road in Oklahoma.
Oh.
Like slap out, I guess 4 or something. And they didn't take 15, so they didn't know. Oh man, they might hit
It's
that.
stuck.
Yeah, construction. Alright. Have to head east on 377.
Yeah, you see that? I was just.
Oh yeah.
I don't see any.
I'll just zoom out and just. It's gorgeous. Look at it zoomed out, but I know what you mean.
Just kind of trying to keep a. It's picking up in there.
Need to track one severe storm in the northern part of the area. Kevin's preparing for his next weather hit on TV. Alex and Caleb out watching the storm, and we got it covered there. So far, it's just a storm that has dropped some ping pong ball-size hail up around Bryan's Corner. You can see that here on the Super Doppler. The storm kind of picking up a little speed, heading down to the southeast. Like the track, if you're in Perryton, looks like that's going to stay off to your northeast. Not so much for Booker. Looks like a good chunk of that storm is going to come across the Booker area. What I love is we've got good eyes on that. Just to remind folks, Alex and Caleb right underneath that storm. So far, we haven't had any tornadic activity, no strong rotations, but it is an environment. It's in an area that storms could produce pretty quick rotation, strengthen, even become a tornado candidate. So we're going to watch it very carefully until it tracks on out of our area. So folks in Booker, DeRosette, you're next up in line to catch the storm. Once again, probably just off to the east of Perryton, heading out Highway 15 towards Booker. At the very least, it's a hail threat. We have had ping pong ball-size hail reported. It's a wind threat. Of course, lightning. We've seen some lightning on the feed coming in. So we need to treat it, as a pretty formidable storm. And once again, this is the environment that storms could quickly latch on to some wind shear, become rotating storms, and even produce tornadoes. So far, that's not the case. We will come back to that storm. Right now, I'm going to take us down a little further down to the south. A couple of blips there north of Matador, getting into Cottle County. So far, they have been very well behaved. Maybe a quick flash of lightning. That's about all we're seeing. There is a severe storm outside of our area. That's going to be way down south of Floydada. That's going to head east across the extreme southern part of Motley County. A lot of hail there. But once again, we don't really consider that part of our viewing area. So just want to give you a quick update, mainly focusing on our storm. If you're in Booker, DeRosette, Balco, Elmwood, we're keeping an eye on that. Make sure you follow our stream here, and we'll have continuous information. Kevin will be on a little bit later on. If something breaks that you need to know about, we will let you know. So I'm going to send it back out to the field. Caleb, Alex, you guys take it away.
Harris. Hey everyone, we're on 377 heading east out of Harrington. I'm gonna stop here. Still want to get out ahead of it. We're just southeast of it.
All right, so we are, see, that's County Road 22.
Let me get you a.
Yeah.
We're about 7 miles to the east of Perryton. We're trying to find a turn-off road. 377.
Yeah. You have dirt there.
Yeah.
And
All right, here, you got camera?
yeah. See the rotation right in here?
Yeah, no kidding. So what I'm thinking right now is head east. Yeah, 23, and then dip down south on 1920 towards Lipscomb. Yeah, we're looking.
That is really cranking.
About to get going here soon.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Good?
Yep, let's go. Looks interesting. You've got a couplet on the back end right here.
I mean, we're in prime position. See something if it does. The lightning's ramping up. See a lot more called staccato, bright flash. Cloud the ground lightning.
Quick weather update. This is live video from the Weather Atlas that is in the northern portion of Ochiltree County. Caleb and Alex are just a couple of miles east of Perryton. They're watching the base of the storm. It is showing some signs of wanting to rotate, and a short time ago it did have a funnel in one spot, but there's some redevelopment. Let's check it on radar real quick and I'll show you what's happening. It's going to be out in open country, but we'll watch it again very, very carefully. Perryton, you are not included in the severe thunderstorm warning, and the cell will move just to the east of you by a couple of miles. From there, it will continue to move southeast, again out over open country. Next in line would be Lipscomb and possibly some rain for Follett. That's still more than a half an hour away. We are keeping an eye on it. We're streaming on the website and Facebook and YouTube as well. You can see the live pictures from the vehicle, but wanted to get you an update on that one. It has moved out of Texas County. Now some heavy rain continuing in Beaver County. The bulk of this will continue to move southeast just to the east of Perryton. We're continuing to watch it here at News Channel 10. Thank you.
All right, the one and only Kevin Selly doing an update there for the storm coming into Booker right now. The storm appears to have weakened a little bit. Good news, and as he mentioned, it's going to safely stay off to the northeast of Perryton. Definitely some good news there. But for our friends in Booker there, once again, we're watching that carefully. It's a little more disorganized right now. Here's the picture coming in from our weather atlas from Alex and Caleb. I think we had a little outflow and some cooler air get kind of sucked in to kind of take the energy down just a little bit. Not to say that that's going to be the case permanently, because we get out on the other side of a boundary There's plenty of warm air, there's plenty of inflow, and this could definitely still be a situation that we could have some tornadic activity. Hasn't happened yet. We have had some ping pong ball size hail back towards Bryan's Corner. That storm now pushing southeast of Balco. There's the new warning just issued. You see that new yellow box there, so that's going to include Elmwood, Booker, Perryton. You're technically in that. I think for you, really just maybe a wind or stray lightning threat. That's about it. The brunt of the storm definitely going to come more like over Booker and then south on Highway 23. So it's kicking on down to the southeast. City of Beaver, even though Beaver County included in that warning, not included. The Beaver County is not the city of Beaver. So we're continuing to track that. While we're doing that, we'll have a little time here, commercial break. We'll take a look at some other storms. Again, just not too concerned down around Childress or Paducah. Some non-severe storms. We do have a severe storm south of Floyd-Ada, not really affecting our area right now, just staying just out of it. And the storm that Kevin brought to you earlier that's popped up around Trinidad, tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning, that thing is all but gone at this time. So again, our focus right now on that one severe storm east of Perryton on Highway 15 right now, coming on into Booker. Looks like we're bowing a little bit there. That's going to give us more of a wind threat around Booker and Darrozette. You folks need to be in, out of the lightning threat, no tornadoes that we know of. And then again, as we scan around, that's about the only game in town. Severe thunderstorm watch in the southern part of the area, tornado watch in the northeast. Fortunately, no tornadoes reported anywhere. I'm going to send it back out to our chase crew. They can keep us posted on what's happening there around Booker. You guys take it.
All right, yeah, so we are so as you can see, I mean, the structure on this storm is just beautiful. We can see a lot of rain off to our north, and you know, so we're kind of staying out of that right now. Now, if you're in Booker, the rain's probably hitting you right now.
It's actually probably 100 yards to our tower left. So we're trying to get to 23, which we're approaching here soon, to drop south out there. Try to stay out ahead of it.
But very pretty storm. We are feeling some winds though, so the winds are definitely something to keep in mind. A lot of outflow from this thing, so but we're keeping a really close eye on it so that, you know, if something does happen and it decides to drop something, we'll be able to let y'all know, maybe get you a view of it. Man, that's just, it's gorgeous though. County.
Highway 23 is just right off our nose.
There it is right there. Yep. And just in time, because that rain is right out your window.
Yeah, it's fine. This guy's about to take a wide turn. There's a chase tour, man.
Yeah, or two.
It's like a homemade.
All right, so now we're heading down Texas 23,
South.
heading south. So let's get you. I got
There
you.
you go.
Let's get y'all
Man,
back
look
on
at that.
storm right here. Oh, that's just beautiful. I mean, you can just see the whole. There's your outflow right. Man, that is gorgeous. Silly breeze. There you go.
sand road.
Yeah, I told you about that. Wow. That is something. That is something. All right, well, we're in the chaser train. So, and what's cool is, you know, looking out the window, you can just see the whole storm moving. I mean, it's
Look at
just,
the definition of this.
yeah. I mean, that is just some sharp definition. Kicking up a bunch of dirt. Alrighty.
Last week you called it. You were 1 day off.
Yeah. One day.
Oh, lost him.
Yep. We went down in a gully. Man, that is something. That is something.
There you go. If it's on it, that's where it went.
Okay, quick situation update here on a first alert night. We've got a tornado watch across the northeast. We've got a severe thunderstorm watch across the southeast and a couple of strong storms, including the one that the Weather Atlas is looking at. Let's go to Alex and Caleb. Gentlemen, where are you? What are you seeing? Signals breaking up, so let me get you an update on where we are here. This cell that is moving just to the east of Perryton, coming across Highway 15, there's a new severe thunderstorm warning. Includes parts of Beaver, Lipscomb, Ochiltree County until 7:30. It is not tornado warned at this point, but there is the potential for it to be. Again, Perryton, you're okay. That is sliding just a couple of miles to your east. So looking out ahead of it, Lipscomb, you will be in the path of this storm. It's going to be about 30 minutes away, though. So we'll let you know if the severe thunderstorm warning with the bug in the corner of your screen is extended to include Lipscomb. Obviously, we will break in and let you know if there is a tornado warning. After this segment and after the news, we will go ahead and continue streaming on NewsChannel10.com, our YouTube channel, and our Facebook page. Across the southern portion of the region, some other strong thunderstorms scraping the southern portion of our area. Remember, there is a severe thunderstorm watch there until 11 o'clock tonight. We're going to keep you posted. We'll break in if needed as we go on through the rest of the evening here at News Channel 10.
With and he's like, they use it in the memes all the time, and he like whistles and points. It's like what I'm waiting to do.
Oregon. All these like chasers just like insta spawned.
My latest scan is about 7 minutes old.
That would have been a fine place to stop, but you can't. People already took it.
There's another one up here.
strengthening.
I don't know if you could have seen the base from up there or not.
I can't. Yeah.
Do you think on these chaser tours, like they, talk over the speaker? All right, Dave, thanks. And they're like, on your.
All right, hey, thank you for being with us on our continuous severe weather stream as we done all storm season. We like to be on continuously that way. You can check in and out as you see fit, as you need to, whether you're at the grocery store or out in your car, or even at home. We'll, when we do TV bulletins, we'll certainly let you know. We'll bring that onto the stream, but otherwise, we just kind of pass along information so that you can know what's going on and make your decisions. Kevin Stelly with me here too. It's just off to get over.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. We're watching.
All right, so Alex and Caleb have been out in the Weather Atlas here lately, feeding us, well, I'll show you. We'll show you this stream right here. Information. Right now they're around Booker, and I'll show you that storm coming up on radar. Good news is we have not had any tornadic activity so far. It is a first alert evening, and as we've seen so far this storm season, that means we get the whole team involved to track everything out there, let you know what's going on. As far as watches and warnings, that's a tornado watch in the northeast in the yellow, Beaver County, also Ochiltree, Lipscomb, Roberts, and Hemphill County. That's set to go until 10 p.m. I kind of imagine that will be dropped a little early. This is kind of back on the west edge of that tornado watch as storms move east during the evening and the threat disappears. I believe those counties will probably be discontinued early. But for the time being, the environment is there for tornadic storms in the northeast. We have a severe thunderstorm watch in the southeast also. Includes a couple of our counties. That's going to be, looks like Briscoe, Hall, and Childress counties. That goes until 11 p.m. Same situation. We've had a warning or two down that way, but no tornadoes. Radar, well, that's what we have. In both of those watch areas, we have limited activity. We have this isolated supercell that started off way back in Texas County over Hooker and Adams County that is pushed down to the south over Bryan's Corner. It produced some ping pong ball size hail. That hail threat is now, looks like just south of Booker. If you're in Booker, I imagine you're catching heavy rain and lightning and maybe some of the smaller hail, but that hail core is aimed down across Highway 23 just south of Booker, and then eventually, if it holds the intensity and track, would take it towards Lipscomb. So communities like Perryton, Wolf Creek Park area, you're safe from this storm. If you're in Booker, again, you're catching some of the heavy rain, the hail, some wind out of that, I imagine. Darozette and Follett will be just on the eastern fringe where the threat is mainly lightning. Once again, you can see the yellow box, that's our severe thunderstorm warning, and really aimed down towards Lipscomb. So if you're in Lipscomb, we got you on deck. Be on standby, be paying attention. If it holds this intensity, it will bring at least a hail threat to the area. Now, it's having a little trouble with a frontal boundary that's right out ahead of it, keeping temperatures cool and keeping the wind out of an unfavorable direction to really get strong rotations. That may not be the case for the duration of the storm, but that's been the case so far. So folks down around Follett, yeah, I'll tell you what, let's do. Come back to that, Kevin. I just want to point out the other area. We have storms down around Matador, Paducah. Those are non-severe at this time. So what we want to do right now is take a look at this product. And Kevin, you want to do some drawing on there?
Sure. This is our main storm, and it looks as though the front is probably right around here where we see new updrafts. And here is a new updraft right here. So that's going to put the arrival time for some rain in Lipscomb much quicker. The bulk of the storm still about 15 miles to your northwest and moving southeast. But this is a really interesting situation. Dave and I have been kind of marveling at the effects of this cold front. In Lipscomb, there is a north wind. So the front has come through, but the dew point is still at 71 degrees, which is plenty of fuel for some thunderstorms. And that cold air, that cool air behind the front is just, you know, what, 1,000 feet deep. It's pretty thin. So there's plenty of instability just ahead of the front that Dave has drawn in there. So there's plenty of time for new updrafts to continue here. But
one here. So.
Yeah, there's a couple of them there. So this is going to be interesting to watch. The hail core is still very robust south of Booker.
South of Booker.
Yeah, so that's still, again, about 15 miles to the northwest of Lipscomb. But rain in Lipscomb, anybody that you know in Lipscomb may want to just give them a heads up, especially just northeast of town, because this thing is coming on. And it's probably 15, 20 minutes away from the heaviest stuff, but new updrafts could start to produce some heavy rain and maybe some small hail at least here in the next couple of minutes, Dave.
Yeah, the key on the wind here, we have two things going on. We got updrafts that produce the rain and the hail, but whether or not they rotate has a lot to do with what the wind is doing near the ground. So when the wind is out of the north behind the front, that's not favorable for rotating updrafts. Out ahead of the front, though, we have winds that are a little more out of the south and southeast. If this storm happens to cross this frontal boundary and gets out in this environment in the southern part of Lipscomb County, where we have that southeast inflow, that would change the ball game considerably. That would put it in a favorable area.
They've got some dust. Punch up the chase vehicle.
Okay, let's take a look.
It's underneath that lowering.
Okay, kind of pixely, right? It looks like we're frozen. Okay.
Yeah, they had some dust there. Let me check in with them.
Okay, so what we're looking at, we can see the storm.
Guys, did we see some dust under that lowering?
Right now. Alex and Caleb are heading down, looks like a little further south. They kind of get repositioned on this. So this is the storm you can see that has prompted that severe thunderstorm warning, likely dropping hail south of Booker. Kind of out over open country, Highway 23. Of course, we know we have a lot of wheat and some crops out there that have not been harvested yet. So it's good that we're not looking at communities being affected by that hail right now. But between Booker and Lipscomb, you know, farming interests out there and certainly crops that need to be harvested, the hail would definitely be a factor there and a threat. So we're hoping that that's not the case for too many areas. Just kind of watching the storm again as it pushes on down to the south. Bring this product up here. And
their signal's back.
Okay,
there's some real dust. Could be RFD.
Yeah.
There's a new notch trying to develop.
Yeah, let's hear from them. I tell you what, Alex and Caleb, we're noticing the dust underneath what looks to be a little shelf there. Can you give us a little commentary on whether or not that's outflow or inflow or what that is?
Yeah, so we've been watching that, Dave, and from here it's kind of hard to tell because we've been watching it kind of, get sucked straight up. So it's probably some inflow.
It's just we're going up and down. It's very hilly. And then next we know there's trees.
All right, as they were explaining there, they're going up and down in hills and kind of a remote rural area. It's kind of hard to maintain a signal. We're watching it in and out. Good news is no tornadoes there. Tornado watch does continue in the northeastern part of the area, and we definitely have some good ragged clouds that they're showing us.
They're back.
There we go. We got them. So let's try that one more time. Looks like they're stationary. Okay, back on you guys. Sorry you got cut off by signal, but you want to give us play-by-play on what you have there?
Yeah, so really, I mean, what it looks like to us is that, that dust getting kicked up is possibly some inflow, and I mean, unless it's outflow coming straight at us. I mean, from this view, it's kind of hard to tell exactly. I mean, this storm has had winds in it, so it has been kicking up a lot of dust as it moves, across a lot of the countryside here. So, but like I can tell, I mean, the structure is gorgeous. So we're keeping a close eye on it. We can see a lot of the rain and stuff, next to us, but I think we're far enough out of it that we can keep an eye on this for a while. And so just bear with us as we go up and down the hills, because one minute we can hear you and the next minute we can't. So
what's
we're
y'all's
going to try and
location?
camp here as long as we can.
What's y'all's location with regard to Lipscomb?
We are about 8 miles, 8 miles southwest of Lipscomb.
Okay, so I'll show that here on radar. Beautiful shot, by the way. So there you see Lipscomb, and they're just about 8 miles back to the west there, right in line for that storm to come and pretty much show them everything it's got in it. And the history of the storm has been for some ping pong ball size hail. That was back in the Oklahoma Panhandle around Bryan's Corner. I would imagine the hail continues there just southeast of Booker right now. As far as tornadic or funnel activity, we saw one report of maybe a brief funnel well back in its history, but nothing that's touched ground, nothing that's been significant really. So we're waiting to see if it's going to get into a favorable environment for a stronger rotation. I think it's going to be a close call, but I can tell you as you look on the screen there, it's going to be pretty much Lipscomb County for the duration of the storm before it passes out of our area. So places like Derzett and Follett, I'd count on rain and lightning. The hail swath, I think, will stay probably south of Booker, south of Derzett, and possibly approach Lipscomb and may stay just north of there before it heads down towards Higgins. And once again, once it moves off across the Oklahoma border, that'll be it for us. But even though it's an isolated storm, it's still a first alert situation because remember, we have a big News Channel 10 viewing area, big News Channel 10 family, big first alert family, if you will. And anytime we have that tornadic threat or even a possibility, we definitely like to stay on and let people know what's happening. I mean, moment by moment. Sure, if there's a tornado, we'll go on TV and we'll stay there for the duration of that warning. But we like to get this continuous stream going with our team, so you just know what's happening minute by minute. That way you don't have to wait 30 minutes to see what's going on if you live in Lipscomb. As Kevin mentioned, if you know folks in Lipscomb, time to get them on the horn if they don't already know that they're under a tornado watch. We do have a supercell storm capable of severe weather. If nothing else, we have a hail threat, we have a lightning threat, we got a strong wind threat. Fortunately, this has not been a real robust tornadic day like we've had plenty of so far this storm season. Here we go into the middle part of June, which is often when our storm season starts to die down. May not be the case this year, and obviously case in point is what we have at the moment. Looking ahead, looks like we'll take a little break for the rest of this week, going into the weekend. But I'm seeing some indications we get into the last part of the weekend, early next week, we might have at least a pattern that favors the development of thunderstorms. And we take them day by day, situation by situation. Just can't say that storm season is winding down just yet. I'm going to pull up our feed. Again, this is what you see on radar. So we're looking at between Darozette and Lipscomb. This is what it looks like in real life with real eyes. This is our Weather Atlas tower cam, or not tower, roof cam that's looking out at the base of the storm. And what I love, Alex and Caleb, right there, if there was to be rotation, if there was to be a wall cloud, funnel, or a tornado, I mean, we got it right there. So we'd be able to come on right away and let people know what we're tracking there. Coming back to the radar, okay, looks like we got a new image there. Booker looking better and better for you guys as that storm pushes away from you. Again, so follow up right there, there's Booker. The storm pretty much wrapping up, moving out.
Muggy.
Okay, go ahead. What was that? You got a report there, Caleb?
Yeah, so I stepped outside for just a minute, and it is very, very muggy. So much so that, I mean, from stepping outside for 3 minutes and then getting back into the car, I mean, it's enough to give you the chills. So it's, I mean, you can just really feel the humidity in the air right now.
What about, hey Caleb, what about wind direction? You guys got a north wind, or is that shifted?
So the wind was, let's see, which way are we heading? We're heading south, or we're heading east. So I would say that wind is kind of coming, because it was blowing against my face. So I would say it's blowing southeasterly. Is kind of what it felt like on top of that hill.
Okay, just to be clear, is that wind coming from the south or southeast?
It's coming. It's
Oh, we gotta hate when that happens. I did not get to hear that wind direction, which is key. And there's still time there in Lipscomb County for that storm to organize, latch onto some inflow and rotate and become tornadic. We're not saying that's going to happen, but we're going to follow this until it's out of Lipscomb County and that threat is down. Right now, Booker, once again, things are looking a lot better. Darozette, pretty favorable track, and for Follette too. The core, or the brunt of that storm, is going to bypass you down to the south. So it's really kind of all about Lipscomb right now. Let's see, have we had any hail reports lately?
No, sir.
No, nothing. No actual reports of hail. On radar, it looks like it's a pretty formidable hail candidate down to the southwest of Darozette as that pushes down east-southeast. So if you're in Lipscomb, kind of hoping that hail core stays to your north. So that's going to be on Highway 305 between Darozette and Lipscomb is where we would be concerned about most of that hail on the east-southeast track.
Yeah, that hail core's really come up.
Let's bring it up here. We're going to look at the hail potential here with Kevin. Let him kind of narrate here for a little while.
Well, yeah, that area of pink, Darozette, if you're not getting some hail, some of these larger hailstones could pop out of that because that hail core is expanding for sure.
Let's look at some DBZs.
I would not want to be on the road in between Lipscomb and Darozette.
Right, that's Highway 305 between Darozette and Lipscomb.
Yep. We're never going to match the 81.5 we had the other day.
In our lives, probably.
Here's 66.
66, that's very formidable, though.
Yeah, 66. So, it's not out of the question. Certainly ping pong ball, not out of the question that we might not get some tennis ball size hailstones with that.
Yeah, and our concern there is not really the communities, it's the wheat.
Right.
Man, it's the crops out there. So we're hoping that we're not losing wheat fields here at the last minute. I know harvest is underway. And,
yeah, that hail core is expanding like crazy. I bet a lot of that's aloft right now, but if it's to come down, especially that cold air, that is going to be right on the highway in between Lipscomb and Darozette.
Yeah,
that's going to be unfortunate. I bet there's some I bet there's some baseballs trying to form in there.
Yeah, we hope not. We hope that's brief and temporary too. So here we go on our weather system here. I'll zoom out just a little bit as we look downstream. You can see really, you know, as far as communities are concerned, we got Lipscomb, and then later on it will be Higgins on path right there on the Oklahoma border. Those are the two communities that we're concerned about, with the hail staying pretty much from Lipscomb and northward at the moment. Tornado watch does continue, but we have not had tornado warnings.
Clean picture from the guys now.
Let's take a look. Hey, Alex, Caleb, let you give us a little play-by-play there as we wait and see what the storm does. So give us your location again, and we'll get a picture up, let you know what's happening.
Okay, Dave, so we are about to turn onto 305.
You're just south of Lipscomb.
So we're just south of Lipscomb, and now we're heading south on 305. So let me get you a shot of we just turned, so let me get
A
you a
lot
shot
more
of
chasers out here now. I think I just saw an ice chip van. Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin's buddies from Ice Chip are out here, possibly.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna get you that shot again. There we go. There we go. All right.
Or we're probably going to end up towards Higgins. Possibly. I don't know. We'll see how this thing does. I don't know if let's find a place to pull over. We lost Unity again, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
So we can't hear them back at the station, but
Okay, so here's what Kevin is talking about. We're looking at the hail core, and I'm left-handed here, but right in here is what we're looking at. We're hoping that it stays north of Lipscomb. That's not a guarantee. If it builds south at all, we got Lipscomb in the hail path. It will stay south of Darazette. It will stay south of Follett. So Highway 305, that's what our boys just checked in. They're just south of Lipscomb, so they're right about in here. They're going to watch and see what that hail core is doing. New updraft, maybe?
Yeah, new
That would be on the
at least
boundary.
a notch, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we think it may be developing.
It keeps trying to do that. That's what they're looking at. But once we get their signal back, I'd love to see to the right, because that's probably dark. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
The really good news is that it just does not look like a tornado candidate at the moment. The really bad news is that the hail, area and potential size has trended up. So, destructive hail, and we keep mentioning the wheat. I know we grow a lot of it up there, and hopefully we're not seeing too much devastation. Hail is now approaching 305 just south of Darazette and north of Lipscomb. If you're up in Follett, just kind of rain and lightning. If you're in Darazette, you're catching some rain, some lightning. We'll be concerned about Lipscomb down to Higgins.
Yeah, I might pull the car in the garage in Lipscomb. You got like a minute to do that.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, time to secure stuff, get your car in if you haven't already done so.
Yeah, and please stay away from the windows once it starts. This stuff can come in at an angle, and it can come in from some strange angles. Both you and I, Dave, in the last couple of storms have had hailstones come from behind us.
Yeah,
on the inflow into these things, and that's a surprise. And well away from the hail core too.
Yeah.
Miles away.
Yeah. Okay. While we sit and watch this guy, I'll go ahead and take a look at the rest of our area. And still skating by in the south with pretty good little outlook. Now, our friends in Paducah, we have a couple of thunderstorms nearby. The one out to the west on the Motley County line is not severe. My concern would be lightning. Just make sure we get folks in off their bicycles and into just being inside will take away that risk. A stronger storm is back to the west of Roaring Springs. I think that's going to probably stay south of Paducah and not really in our viewing area. And there's a cool shot. The last area of rain we have even was activity came out of Colorado. Non-severe up around Kenton and back towards Boise City. So I'm bringing it back to the storm of interest, and here's what we're seeing from the field. Nice shot.
That hail core
They
picked up
slowed
there.
down a minute ago. It looked like they had a north wind there now. So they're right on the edge or just behind that boundary, which is amazing to have a storm this strong.
Looks like, Kevin, are we going three body? No? What is this stuff?
Oh, some interference there. That is.
Yeah, it's not,
Yeah.
we can't call it three body. It's interference new for now. Okay. All right, here's the look at our Lipscomb County storm. It's pretty much all the way into Lipscomb County now. If you're in Ochiltree County, storm's gone. Camping out at Wolf Creek, you dodged a bullet, no problem. If you're in Beaver County, storm is out of there. So now it's cooking down to the southeast. As we've been mentioning, it's going to be places like Lipscomb and Higgins, and then rural areas in between. Hail really looking like a formidable threat right there. No actual reports of hail, but something like golf ball plus is what we're expecting. So the question is it going to make it down into the city of Lipscomb? Is it going to stay just north of there? And right now we just don't really know. I would lean towards Lipscomb getting some hail. So make your preparations now. Tornado watch is in effect. Probably not going to go all the way to 10 p.m. for our counties, but Lipscomb definitely in that. And we definitely have a severe thunderstorm in Lipscomb. You got some commentary, Kevin?
Yeah, just watching and watching the Weather Service comment as well. But we kind of noted those weaker storms to the east of our main cell, and that's on the boundary. And the Weather Service observes, as we did, there's a new updraft there. So the storm is going to catch up. It's trying to catch up to that boundary. So it's going to be kind of a race between the eastern portion of Lipscomb County and Oklahoma as to whether or not we can get that thing to jump ahead and probably come into Higgins as well. But anybody in Lipscomb that if they're just getting some light rain right now, it's going to change here in the next 5 minutes or so, especially anybody that's north or northeast or east of town. I know there's no roads there, but anybody just on the outskirts of town, that hail core is still really, really something. And so that would put Higgins, I'm going to do a measurement here and see, just to give Higgins a little heads up. We're about 15 miles from Higgins now, so let's start to prepare there. That would give you more time to get anything in the garage. Probably a good gust of wind with this thing too, but there's clearly a new updraft. We've gotten rid of that.
Kevin had to clear my beautiful cold front that I'd driven. But, anyway, the question is if that front doesn't move too much, if this part of the storm here moves over, we get new development right in here.
Yeah, and we've already got it there. Just
we got a little bit there, so
that's going to go up next and create a new notch.
Now I think we can shift. If there's going to be any tornadic activity, it's probably going to be in this part of Lipscomb County. It's not happening now, but that's something that, Kevin, it's going to be a race. If it has time to get out there and latch onto some of that inflow and rotate, that could be the case. If nothing else, we got this hail core that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, and they're going to extend the severe thunderstorm warning. 60-mile-an-hour straight line winds, at least ping pong ball size hail.
Okay, so the warning that will be coming out will be for what we've kind of said, hail that could go greater than ping pong ball size, and golf balls wouldn't surprise us. And then straight winds, 60 miles per hour. And the last thing you want is that coming together, because you get wind-driven hail like that instead of coming straight down, which is a problem, and certainly to roofs, and not so much for crops when it comes straight down, but when we start blowing some wind and it gets some horizontal movement with it, then we're one hopping, we're coming up, we're breaking windows, and it's also flattening wheat. So hopefully we're not going to get that.
And there's the new severe thunderstorm warning until 8 o'clock for Lipscomb County. So it's currently about 7:30, so at least 30 minutes. Maybe if this thing jumps a little faster, it could be a little bit less than that. But Lipscomb under threat. I would not rule out a hailstone or two falling out in Follett. Not likely, but again, not going to rule it out, just so you know what's happening. The bulk of that storm is to your southwest. But Lipscomb about to take it on the chin, and then we'll watch Higgins, and then eventually over to Shattuck and Arnett, Oklahoma.
Yeah, well, and of course, Shattuck and Arnett. Just outside of our viewing area, but we'll stay on for a bit as long as we have this threat in our area. I kind of rudimentarily drew a swath right the hail is aimed right now, and it does include Lipscomb. Again, ping pong balls, golf balls wouldn't surprise us. And then down the road towards Higgins. Right now that hail is pretty much coming over 305. What are our boys seeing out there? Okay.
Sure enough, I saw that.
Hey, Alex,
echo.
Caleb, we've been doing
I've
some
never
good
seen
radar tracking for you. What's the latest visually there? We got your stream. Anything new to report?
A group of chasers coming at you. I think you fly pretty high too.
These guys need to go.
Maybe. Okay, that's right. They reported they're going up and down in hills and in and out of our coverage, so they may or may not be able to hear us. But looking at their feed ourselves, here's Kevin. It looks like a pretty cut and dried rain-free base without much lowering on it.
Yeah.
Without much rotations.
Yeah, every storm has its own characteristics, and I'm fascinated by this one on that colder air that's probably helping a little bit with regard to, well, the cold front is helping the updrafts, but it's also maybe stabilizing the lower portion of the storm a little bit. But we continue to see these new updrafts on the southern edge of that, and then there's a little notch, and there's a new one right there where it says 305.
Yeah, 305.
Right at the intersection there. So
305 and the cutoff to Higgins would be where that is. And that's where, pretty much where Caleb and Alex are. So once again, it's great for us to be able to track on radar. It's even better for us to be able to look out there with a camera and see what's going on. I mean, it gives us a lot of confidence in the information that we're giving you.
yeah, it gives us a chance to, to geek out on radar a little bit, but this is the value of the storm chasers and the weather atlas is because by this time the radar beam is a couple thousand feet above the surface, and so you can see rotation in the mid-levels of the storm, but the radar doesn't necessarily, in fact likely does not see low-level rotation or an actual tornado. So especially in a situation like this where they can spin up quickly on the outflow and these kind of boundaries that are sitting there, having eyes on it is really, really helpful.
Very good. And I think in this last scan here, we might have seen a slight decrease in the area of hail, but it's not enough for us to give anybody a green light, and it's very close to Lipscomb. I still think we're going to get some hail in Lipscomb, and it's going to be larger up Highway 305, just north of Lipscomb.
And there's the new picture, which gives us a little bit of close to 70. Yeah, now we're at 70 dBZs.
Maybe a smaller area, but larger stones is what we're looking at there. Yeah, if you're north of Lipscomb, that's where the biggest hail threat is right now. The outlying areas, Derazette, Follette, catching fringe effects of the storm. Oklahoma Panhandle, we can pretty well clear you from the severe glacier down 305 a little further. I think it's probably going to stay north of you. The warning area, the yellow box you see there, gets most of Lipscomb County except that far southwest corner. And once again, our main threat here is going to be damaging hail and wind.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. If that frontier now, that could be new updraft, which could start some rain, glacier, even Canadian.
That's right. I mean, the environment out ahead of that front, south of that front, it's warm and juicy.
Yeah, the development has been sort of southeast on this, southwest rather, as the thing continues to shift eastward. My cold front drawing skills, a lot to be desired.
Yeah, I might have you on that, but I will say, the further south we go, it seemed like today there was a bit of a capping issue.
Yeah. Clear new updraft.
Clear new updraft, just north of Glacier. So.
Which means now Higgins is going to get something heavy, regardless.
Yeah, Higgins, got a few moments, but as we like to do when we can, give you a little heads up, since you have 15, 20 minutes or so. First of all, spread the word that you got a big storm coming, and it's likely going to have hail in it. That gives you time to get vehicles in, protected, secure outdoor furniture and stuff, but mainly get folks inside, get kids in out of the park. Postpone your evening walk tonight. Let this thing blow through. Just hunker down inside now. Watch our information as this thing approaches.
And get your phone tree going too, because as we get further into the evening, people are turning off whatever electronics they have. They may not know that this is approaching. You might start to hear some thunder, but if you know somebody in Higgins or you have neighbors in Higgins, just let them know something's coming. There's going to be some heavy rain. We're inside of 10 miles now, just off to the northwest. So that is worth letting your neighbors know. Get the phone tree going.
Exactly, and we're tracking that guy right there at and, both north and south of Lipscomb. Lipscomb to Higgins is going to be our zone. while we're doing this, take a moment to make sure we don't have anything else crazy going on. Still little bubbles down Matador to Paducah. If you're in Paducah, I'm just not real concerned. Roaring Springs will catch a stronger storm just outside of our area. We do have some rain up in Cimarron County, but it's just non-severe right now. And I'm going to just kind of zoom out a little bit. You know, got the whole viewing area here. Amarillo, no problem at all. We're going to cool off with the front, but we just have that one isolated storm up there in the northeast, kind of our last county in the northeast under the gun, where we do have a tornado warning. I'll go back, tornado watch, excuse me, no tornado warnings. Tornado watch you see right here is going till 10 p.m. And I mentioned earlier, I think it's pretty good likelihood that those counties will be cleared before 10 p.m.
Dave,
once that threat moves out. What do we have, Kevin?
New storm report coming in. This is what we were talking about with regard to the area around Darrozette, but we had 1-inch hail report 9 miles southwest of Darrozette. So not in Darrozette, but maybe not in that hail core. So that talks to the size of a hailstone that can get out away from the main hail core on radar. So it was about 10 minutes ago, 1-inch hail 9 miles southwest of Darrozette in Lipscomb County, and that was at 7:25, Dave.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. That's the core that has now moved pretty much over Lipscomb. You can trace it back here in the history, and you can see what Kevin was talking about when it was southwest of Darrozette. Sure, we showed that hail core, but now it's pretty much over Lipscomb. I mean, smack dab over and just north of Lipscomb. Hopefully, folks in Lipscomb are taking precautions. We don't think there's going to be a tornado in Lipscomb. We do think the hail will last for 5-10 minutes and then move down to the southeast. So our next concern is going to be Higgins right there on our border before we can finally ship it out and put an end to the severe threat in the northeast.
Yeah, and I would call out, I would call out Glazier and anywhere in between Higgins and Glazier as well, anywhere along Highway 60.
Sure.
Because that new updraft, and there's an inflow notch there too. It's going to look scary. We don't know that it's going to produce a tornado. We haven't seen too much evidence of that, but that new updraft just north of Glazier is going to bring some heavy rain, at least some small hail, anywhere in between those two cities. And then we'll want to watch and see if that can develop a little further south toward Canadian. No threat right now, but nobody should be traveling, or if you know somebody in between, farmhouse, something like that, Higgins and Glazier, again, that's going to be a pretty big hit right there.
That's right, and of course Highway 60, a big thoroughfare through there. You want to delay any kind of travel from Arnett back to Canadian. You don't want to be traveling that road until this crosses and moves on. A lot of hail. In fact, Lipscomb, we're pretty sure you're taking some. Hopefully it moves out pretty quickly. And then it's going to be Higgins with new development just north of Glazier that could compound things, and you know, if it develops south even further, might affect Glazier. Looks like this is right on that cold front. So we're getting more development on the cold front than we are the dry line, which makes sense with a capped environment. We're getting more mechanical lifting out there instead of, you know, just convective lifting.
Yeah, so we could yet see Hemphill County maybe included as well.
There's a shot. Yeah, we're having trouble with audio. Still a live feed coming in. Guys are near Higgins looking back to the west. Good base area. Every now and then we do see dust being picked up. What we haven't seen are lowered areas like wall clouds or funnels.
They got a rain shaft there for sure.
Rain and or hail. There's the state line. Notice that. So they are right at Higgins. Right at Higgins on the state line, heading into Oklahoma. Good vantage point to watch this thing. Nice notch in there, Kevin. Let's take a look at that. And if you want to do some drawing.
Sure.
If you need a cold front, I'll draw it. But.
Thank you. What Dave's talking about is inflow. This has just been fascinating because we've got warm, moist, humid air to the south of that cold front, and the storm's been kind of riding right along that cold front. So we've had north winds reported in Lipscomb, and then southeast winds is the warm, moist, humid air that hits the cold front and then rises and creates this little, what we call inflow notch there. And what's happening there is the wind at the surface, the moisture at the surface is rushing into that storm, hitting the cold outflow or the cold front, and then rising, and it creates this little weak area inside of the radar echoes there, where you kind of go to the green and the blue. But that's where you could potentially start some rotation there in this area right in here. And that's where a tornado might form. We don't see that in this particular case, which again, I think that cold air is sort of helping us a little bit. But that's a new updraft as well. And that's why we say, well, Glacier, you could start to hear some rumbles of thunder, but anywhere in between Glacier and 60, as we mentioned, we're now starting to get some pink in there too. And that little
strengthening there.
Yeah, so we're going to get some hail there, either side of 60 in the next 5 minutes or so.
And from other people tracking the same storms here, the National Weather Service just put out a little update. They continue to expect 60-mile-an-hour winds, ping-pong ball-size hail, which has been affecting Lipscomb, and a low tornado threat. It's just going to be a race.
Yes.
You know, we don't have much time left in our area. We're just down to that southeast quadrant now of Lipscomb County. Go back.
Higgins. New radar image. If the guys are listening too, if you're in Higgins, you might want to find some cover because that's coming in here in the next couple of minutes.
It's going to be hard for Higgins not to get that hail core. So.
Now we're at 71 dBz.
Okay, so I'm saying golf balls perhaps.
Easily, if not a little bit.
We'll animate that here. You can see, okay, Lipscomb, you've probably taken some hail, but worst over with. Should be tracking away from you pretty quickly. Glacier, still close call, but I think you're probably going to, with the motion southeast, probably going to miss the hail in Glacier unless we get new development down that front.
Yep.
But now it's kind of Higgins that's in line, and we don't have as much time now to prepare in Higgins.
Yeah, we're 6 or 7 miles from the hail core, and the heavy rain will pick up before that. Okay. So yeah, we always, this is one of the things that the Weather Service and the communications people that study this kind of thing really stress the importance of the phone tree because people may not know. And if you know somebody there or even just your neighbors, don't necessarily assume they've got the TV on and are watching the little bug in the corner or the stream. But this is going to be large hail in Higgins in the next, well, I'd say 5 to 10 minutes. So let your neighbors know for sure because that is a big, big hail core, Dave. I've
always been surprised sometimes when I've come in after a bad storm and I've talked to people and they say, no, I was watching Netflix, and I just didn't know. So
kick off your shoes, thought maybe there was a little thunder.
You never know.
So but this is producing some interesting hail.
Phone call could help, tell them to get on our stream and track along with us. So Lipscomb again looks like it's getting better there. You want to look at that?
I'm going to fire up and do a cross-section of this thing here.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh, we'll need to bring it up there.
Eventually it loads. Oh, I got the wrong one. I can't see that far. Old eyes here. It'll take a minute to pop.
Okay, so Kevin gets that together just so folks know. One isolated big old supercell up in Lipscomb County. It's now past Darrowsette. Follett should be clearing up pretty quickly. Lipscomb storm's pretty much off to your east now, the threat, but
and a new core coming across 60.
Glacier to Higgins. Glacier to Higgins is our zone now for about the next probably 20 minutes. Hail rapidly approaching Higgins, and could be destructive. So.
Okay, so that hail's coming down. It's not aloft anymore.
Drag it over? Or?
Oh, yeah, if you want to do, well, it's kind of tough to see, but we'll try.
Okay, we're going to look at kind of a 3D slice through that storm.
Yeah, it's taking a little, and this is right to the northwest of Higgins. We're looking at the purple, basically, and when you see it coming down the lower portion of your screen, now we're at 10,000 or 20,000 feet, oftentimes we talk about that 3-body scatter spike. That means the hail core is up aloft, 30, 40,000 feet. But when we watch, as we animate these, we watch it come down and lower, and that means the hail core is coming out of it. And that's what we think is happening right now, because I don't think that that's aloft. And here's a new image once again. Okay. So we had that brief spike, and there's still plenty of high dBz's in there. But that indicates that the hail's coming out of it right now, which means anywhere northwest of Higgins, you're getting it. And then in town here.
It's going to be hard to miss Higgins.
Yeah. Hate to see that.
Here, if we animate on this, again, Lipscomb, you're doing a lot better. That nice notch, or well-evident notch just back to the west of Higgins. We don't see strong rotation. Alex and Caleb are not tracking, wall cloud or anything on the ground.
Yeah, let's hear where they are. If they're in town,
do
they're gonna want to get under something.
Okay, all right, Alex, Caleb, we've been tracking the storm. Looks like hail approaching Higgins. What can you recommend for folks up there?
So we are heading east.
Lost them again.
We lost your call, so if you can hear us, we're heading east. We're actually
160 about to drop south on 283.
Yeah, we're about to go south on 283 out of Arnett. So we're keeping an eye on this. Sorry, lots of bumps. So there's some lightning for you. Okay. So looking right there. Let me go ahead and get the iris closed a little bit so see a little bit better. So, so our goal is to drop down south so that we can stay out of the hail and keep an eye on the base of the storm.
At one point, we thought we saw a little funnel in the precip.
Yeah.
That was
But that was 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, Higgins is going to take it. So I'll pull this up. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Caleb. You guys stay safe there. It's just almost a done deal that we're going to hail in Higgins. That core looks like it's coming right over the city. And Lipscomb, I think, took a few minutes of hail. It might be a little more prolonged in Higgins. It's a large area. It looks like it's going to make a pretty direct hit. Perhaps up to ping pong ball size. We might have seen just a peak in intensity a few moments ago. Looks like it may trend down. Any kind of trend down would be good news, but I still think we're going to have a pretty lengthy period of hail in Higgins, and should be starting about any time.
Well, here's a good, if you want to come back to screen capture, if I can find the mouse.
Yeah.
So this is what we were talking about a minute ago. See how the red is higher.
Yeah.
The little scale there's 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 feet. So we do a cross section, and I'm actually on the lower cell there, the new updraft.
All right, the new updraft.
But the point is when you look there, then you see these darker reds and a little bit of purple higher up. That means it's generating these large hailstones, and they're ready to come down.
They haven't fallen yet.
That's right, and they'll come down right on the highway.
Yeah. Mercy. Highway 60 is not the place to be between Glacier and Higgins. We've got two hail cores. We've got that new one on Highway 60 just northeast of Glacier. We have the big hail core. It's going to just track across Higgins for several minutes at least, and I'm afraid we might have a prolonged period of hail there. I mean, it's the last severe storm we have. Once we can get it out of Higgins, we'll hand it off to Oklahoma, and we'll kind of shut her down here, I think. But I hate to see this last gasp hailstorm coming into Higgins. Not tornadic, no tornado there, but we could still get a lot of destruction.
Yeah, new updraft going for Glacier though.
That's right, pretty much right overhead.
Yep, so I have to watch Canadian too.
Yeah. Hemphill County there, yeah.
Weather Service observing the window of opportunity for tornadoes is decreasing. Storm not showing organization in the lower levels. May not do so until it moves into western Oklahoma. Still suggesting it could catch the boundary right near the Texas-Oklahoma state line.
As we've been saying, it's just kind of a race there. I think generally tornado threat pretty low for our area, or decreasing, as Kevin said there, but man, that's a lot of hail. That is a lot of hail. Real quick, let's check the other storms that we have. Still just kind of a non-event down around Paducah. Chump change down that way. Severe storm outside of our area, saying just south of Roaring Springs, and then up in the Oklahoma Panhandle. That's just good old non-severe rain. And I know anytime we're in first alert, we've had tornado watches and everything. Amarillo in the clear. It looks like we've picked up maybe more of the cold front little boundary there, that thin green line coming across the city, but just not doing a whole lot there. This is the severe thunderstorm, eastern half of Lipscomb County, just kind of getting hammered right now. It does extend over into Ellis County, Oklahoma. Higgins is going to take the brunt of this one. Glacier, you're right on it. We're going to see if anything develops right over you. You mentioned Canadian, Kevin, so we'll keep an eye there to see if we get anything developing down that line, but hopefully we keep that isolated heading into Oklahoma. Higgins, again, just not much you can do now is wait it out. Heavy rain and hail, which could be up to ping pong ball size.
Yeah, these two updrafts are merging, I think, which is always a particular area of caution/concern because merging cells can do one of two things. Well, one of three. They can just continue, or they can strengthen, or they can kind of disrupt each other and weaken. But my guess is right over 60 and south of Higgins, there's going to be a new updraft, which will just create more hail.
Yeah.
But close to the border.
Yep.
What's interesting is holding back. The hail core is holding back. It's not moving. It's just developing, getting wider.
Yeah, this is what has come through Lipscomb and dropped some hail southwest of Derazette. Again, I'm really concerned about the wheat harvest there with hail and a crop ready to come in.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
kinda
now
last
wind.
minute.
Look at the wind.
Oh, yeah.
So, as we've been warning for Higgins, and especially just southwest of town on 60, there's hail, but now there's an increasing wind threat. Because as the hail core comes down, that's going to create your wind problem, and we'll do a little...
Draw in there.
well, I'm going to do a little investigation here. Look at there. Ooh, close to 80-mile-an-hour straight line.
Yeah. Of course, that's kind of high up in
That's
the cloud
aloft, sure.
from here, but with the hail coming down, you can
It's still coming. Yeah, that wind core is going to come down too.
put two and two together. There's going to be wind and hail. Not a good combination, by the way, coming towards Higgins. Looks like glacier, developing near you. May not have time to get severe right overhead. Higgins definitely in the crosshairs there, no doubt. So here we go once again with our only severe storm in our area right now. And we've got eyes on it. Could be destructive, could produce a lot of damage with wind and hail together. And it's the Higgins area that we're concerned about right before it tracks over into western Oklahoma. Once that happens, we can kind of start to shut down our coverage and relax a little bit, but going to be a few minutes, and that is definitely a formidable storm. We need to check and see what Alex and Caleb have. Here's just want to show you that video. That's kind of gnarly looking, especially from a distance. Got some ragged, low-hanging stuff out on the leading edge. Not uncommon whatsoever. Usually associated with new updrafts developing on kind of the wind shift there. A lot of trees out there. Man, having trouble keeping that picture, but there you go. Okay. Still looks like if you're Canadian, unless we get new development here at the last minute, that we're probably going to survive there without any major problems. Lake Marvin, kind of a close call and for outdoor interests. But it's Highway 60 starting around Glacier up through Higgins over to Arnett. That is definitely going to take the brunt of this one. And finally, here's a better shot.
We're also losing daylight.
It is. Yeah, Higgins, not only is there hail, but likely some strong straight line wind coming through there. Not rotating. Doesn't look like a tornado candidate, really.
Right now we're getting
definitely wind
straight lines.
Interesting shot there around Arnett, or between Higgins and Arnett. Almost looks like a elephant trunk sticking out ahead of that main core. Very dark, very ragged. Fortunately, we haven't had tornadic reports or rotations there. All right, let's see. Update from the Weather Service. I got a report of a grass fire east of Higgins. Yeah, rain and hail moving there, but
Oh, what's this right here?
so they're going to kind of readjust the warning there in Lipscomb County with it moving off to the east. And I'll show you on radar here right now. Yeah, we'll be able to clear places like Follette, Lipscomb from the warning. I imagine what will happen is we'll get a new warning for the southeast corner of Lipscomb County, but also will include the northeast corner of Hemphill County. That's likely what is going to be taking place. And of course, Ellis County, if you're watching from Ellis County. All right, Higgins, you're definitely in it now. Might be a while before the hail starts to subside.
I think it's coming down right now.
Yeah, Higgins.
That almost might be worth sending them back if they can stay away from this and look for hail damage.
Yeah. So Alex and Caleb, I don't know if you copied Kevin there. It might be worthwhile to come back through Higgins on your way home on 60 and see if you pick up any repercussions of the hail. Taking a shot right now. Why don't
Sounds
you
good.
kind of give us your location? Ooh, nice lightning flash there. What are you seeing from your vantage point out there?
We're heading south on 283, just south of Barnett right now.
Yeah, so we're heading south, 283, just a lot of lightning, you know, a lot of raggedy looking clouds, you know, stuff like that. You know, you can see just all the, you know, if you look back.
There was a feature right here that almost reminded me of like the New Mexico, what we saw near Causey. It was very interesting, but yeah, we're just checking out the storm right here. If you need us to go back, we will. I think I lost him. I'm not hearing anything.
I'm hearing it, I think.
You hear them?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Thanks, guys. So their shot is from between Higgins and Arnett, but I can tell you the core of the storm, the main part of the hail and the heavy rain is pretty much over Higgins, right there on the near the state line in the far eastern part of Lipscomb County. That storm tracking southeast at a pretty good clip, so it's not going to be with us long.
And looking less likely like Canadian. I don't see any new updrafts that would threaten Canadian.
Yeah,
here,
we had
so
a
good
little
news there. Stay alert, obviously, but I think it's looking better for Canadian for you not to have any new updraft or severe weather there. There's the new warning.
There it is.
Goes
Yeah,
to Hemphill.
okay. So as we surmise there, just the eastern part of Lipscomb County, and then we'll take in the eastern part of Hemphill County. I drew that a little further south than I expected, but yeah, that's kind of precautionary. Even away from the storm you see right there, there's going to be some wind. That could be a factor. And again, the boundary is right in there. We might see new development, not seeing it right now. So right now we're just playing the waiting game in Higgins to try to get that storm to get on out of there. Right now it's dropping a lot of hail. And like we predicted a few moments ago, it's kind of a long duration episode of hail. Hoping the size might be coming down a little bit, but ping pong balls still possible as that brunt tracks right over Higgins and the state line heading down to the southeast. So we're going to continue. We'll track this until it moves on out, and we can kind of sound the all clear there for Higgins. Going to take another 10 or 15 minutes, it looks like. For our friends, any friends that are watching over at Gage and Arnett and Shattuck out that area, we'll continue to watch the storm, move your way. It might have a little better chance of rotating and becoming more of a tornado threat once it crosses the boundary of the cold front. which has been holding it back, I think, as far as its rotational velocity. But, you know, even though there's no tornado, you get strong winds and hail. It can be a destructive storm, not only for property and cars and houses, but, you know, as I've mentioned, a lot of wheat being grown and harvested right now. And that's the last thing you need at harvest time is a blast of wind and hail. So continuing to watch what's coming from the Weather Atlas. Plenty of lightning and some reports of a grass fire east of Higgins. Could have been started by lightning, don't know. Good news is plenty of rain and or hail coming in there to douse that. So I don't think that'll be a long-lived or spreading grass fire. All right, severe thunderstorm eastern Lipscomb, eastern Hemphill County, northeast of Canadian, now southeast of Lipscomb. It's the Higgins area, under the gun with just kind of relentless hail and rain as it pushes on down to the southeast. About to cross over into Oklahoma. Some of the storm has done that, but not all of it. So we still got just having to wait helplessly and let that hail track on out of here. So.
Yeah, that's the worst part of hail for it, because we've had a couple of bouts at our house. When it starts, boy, there's nowhere to go. You're just like you just feel that helpless feeling. I was like, okay, eventually it will stop, but you have no idea when. And the noise to me is just, anybody who owns a roof knows that noise, and
it's unnerving.
Yeah,
it is. So,
but it's really holding back in Higgins. So I'm thinking, boy, I mean, this could last another at least 5 minutes, if not closer to 10. I'm sorry to give you that bad news, but
yeah,
it is really
it's back built a little bit there in the southwest.
But as we mentioned, good news for Canadian, good news for Glazer. We want to back out just to make a point. We have rain across the western portion of the Oklahoma Panhandle, Cimarron County, and then northward into Colorado. But we've seen some of this evidence of this on the models for later on tonight, Dave. I don't think once that gets into the northeastern part of the region, Beaver County, once again, Hooker, eastward, you could have another round of showers and some thunder, but the severe threat would be greatly diminished. So don't be surprised if something new pops up, but you could feel some another round, and that's easily 2 hours away.
It looks like we kind of, I think our boundary there, the stronger push of cool air, might be being reinforced by the outflow in that storm, but that's what has prevented a lot of the rotation, I think.
And I was just looking at the visibles as the sun's going down, but the visible satellite is showing no cumulus development along the front, which is helpful.
Really good news as we cool down here and the capped environment a little further south. I think that's going to prevent new storms from developing. Last thing we want there is new development.
They got a pretty picture. It looks like a stable, got a nice shelf there.
That's
probably that wind core.
So they're between Arnett and Higgins, and that would be the outflow push of the cool air. This is what the storm looks like on radar. So Higgins, hang with it, man. Maybe another 5 minutes of the hail.
Yeah, there's almost a little bow developing on that now too, which is what they're looking at. That's the what's with the big big area of hail and heavy rain coming down. That blob of cold air hits the ground and it has to fan out somewhere. So I think what it's doing is it's almost like a miniature cold front, but it is racing out ahead of the storm, creating that shelf cloud that we saw from the Weather Atlas, and then also helping in that you'll get a blast of strong wind, but that colder air kind of undercuts the storm and weakens it as it comes across the border. But it's doing that now and becomes a problem for Oklahoma.
It's looking to me, Kevin, like we got a little, at least mid-level rotation south of Higgins in this area here.
Yep, it could be a little spin up underneath that shelf, almost like a gust nado's not out of the question, because that, I mean, we're still got, I bet there's a 70-mile-an-hour wind, straight line wind, 70 to 80 in there somewhere.
Looks like Oklahoma is going to warn for tornado.
Oh.
as it crosses the border.
Okay.
So
And
that's
there
what
it
I
is.
was, yeah.
There's the box.
Okay, so again.
Tornado warning Ellis and Roger Mills County till 8:45.
So as the storm pushes over that boundary, I guess, Norman Weather Service is confident that there's going to be strengthening rotation.
They might be looking at Vance. Let me see if we can look at the other radar.
That'll be outside of our viewing area. Good news there.
Yes.
Oh man,
But
it's
that's
close
a new
call.
tornado warning. Oh, look at that. See, now we're looking at the Vance radar if you want to switch over.
Okay, yeah, let me, let's do it via this. Okay.
I'll take off the split here. We'll go
Yeah,
back
okay, yeah,
to
let's do that.
velocity. And there it is. So this is the Vance, Oklahoma radar. And
That's-
so what the Weather Service there is seeing, let me draw a little bit.
Oh, I need to.
There's a big area of rotation there. I'll loop it, and we're getting that bright green next to a
Yep.
bright red, getting closer and closer together. So the bigger, wider
doubt.
area of red and green is the mesocyclone. It's
Yep.
rotating in the mid-levels of the storm, but now that seems to be tightening a little bit, which is why our friends in Norman issued a tornado warning on that.
Exactly. Now, here's what we will do. Ellis, Roger Mills counties are not considered the News Channel and viewing area, Kevin. So we're not going to go on TV and track this. We might hang on the stream a little bit and see what.
Is the bug going to be
Alex
on
and
for the
Kevin.
tornado warning on TV?
It'll be on for Ellis County.
Yeah.
It'll be on for Ellis County.
Oh,
So
Ellis, I thought a portion of Ellis was included. Yeah.
it is.
A little tiny bit.
So I mean that'll be on the bug on TV.
Right.
But you know I guess we've kind of taken it as far as we needed to across Lipscomb County. Again, you can find info on our stream, but we're not going to go wall to wall on TV to track that tornado warning just outside of our viewing area. And I think in another 10 minutes, the whole storm will be out of our area. But for Higgins, looks like you're probably just the hail probably finishing up as we speak. Might rain a little bit longer, but I think rapidly going to see some improvements for Higgins, and just kind of catching the far northeast corner of Hemp Hill County, rural terrain there, and it's rapidly going to get on out of our viewing area. So let's see what our chasers are seeing. Well, it looks like they're in our net.
I think they were south of Orlando. Are they going back?
Let's hear from them. Hey, Alex and Caleb, I know
Oh
you know
my
that there's
gosh,
been a
what a-
tornado warning issued. Just wondered your plans. What are you
Yeah,
gonna do
we
there?
were actually we were going south, and we would have been like in pretty good position for that. But I know y'all wanted to go see what the hail damage was like in Higgins, so we're back in our net now, heading westbound on 60. We're
Gotcha,
coming
okay.
out of
Thank you.
our net, and we passed a lot of NSSL vehicles, the Dow, so they were all along 283, excuse me. And so, you know you're in a good area if all the scientists are out there in your area, but some beautiful lightning right now.
They reported a tornado.
Oh, they reported a tornado. Apparently there's a report of a tornado right now.
Really?
Thank you. What? On what road? 213 or where in Higgins?
Anywhere in Higgins.
Oh wait, it's just anywhere. Okay. I didn't know if there was a particular spot. Okay. All right. We're getting a precip right now, so may get some hail on us as things drive on.
Alex and Caleb, we're going to stream just a little bit longer, maybe 5 or 10
Yeah, okay.
minutes. Let the storm move out of our area, and yeah, we're going to let you guys get back into Higgins, see if you see any hail damage or whatever, and then we'll shut it down. So. And it's tightening rotation. Radar just out, it's not going to affect our area. But that's what's going on south of Higgins. Very strong rotation.
95 inbound, 53 outbound,
Okay.
57 outbound.
And you're on Vance?
Vance.
Okay, so, the
What
direction
did I
there.
say? Yeah, inbound, outbound.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the closest one.
Okay. I think we're officially done in our area here.
Mm-hmm. Big what?
Right now,
Big what, Alex?
Really big DBZs.
oh, that's not it. For sure, radar side. Looks like it's really picked up.
Nope.
Oh, hell yeah.
Good news for our friends in Higgins. Looks like the hail's pretty much wound down. Storm heading over to Oklahoma, so we'll be wrapping up our coverage here pretty soon. Just going to kind of see what our chase interceptors see here at the last minute.
I want to go down that road. That's the road I want to be
Coming down in 5 or 6 minutes.
That's where the big old big where you get 70 DBZ down that road.
Okay.
Hail.
It's,
We get hail now. probably pea size. And that core is really strong to the south. We're just north of that main hail core. I don't know if someone's there at the station. You can switch the radar back over to one pane, and you can see the core where we're right above.
Yeah. There's some big hail in there. Sun breaking through.
Ooh, that was a big one. Going back south on that road where you get those 70 DBZs. Man, that is
Some big hail.
yeah, 71 DBZ. I want to turn back and just try to find a good road I can turn back. By the time I get to that road, that 4 will have passed. There.
Yep. There's one of those ice chip pods, Kevin.
All right, we're gonna go check out this forest. Just went through this area. Yeah.
I brought mine.
Well then, hey, there you go. You're the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are pod.
Yeah, we turned around right next to a pod. We turned around, we found another road that would take us right behind the hail core where it was 71 dBz. So we're gonna slowly go down that road and see what we can get. Because that hail core just passed over it.
Yeah, meters
Yeah.
stay on us, that's totally fine.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
I'll see that little blaze, that's a kind of hail fog almost. It's not this one.
No, it's the next one. I think it was right past these trees.
Yeah, right here at this intersection. Right where it turned. It's dirt.
More ponding coming up.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ponding.
Like, I want to get to it as soon as possible. Slow and steady.
Yeah, because this puts us directly on the end of that hail core
Yeah,
and the
that's-
rotation.
Yeah. See the back side of it.
Let's see the backside of that tornado. Got hail fog.
If you look, you see how it kind of goes up in the ditch?
Uh-huh.
Sometimes you can see them like embedded in that.
Okay.
It's easier to see. It curves around. That's where.
Oh, that's it.
So like it's right here. This is where the core went.
Oh, I see.
Right by the I guess it's
saw a glove in here, or in the back seat. Yeah, there's a glove in the back seat. I think it's in the neighbor
No. I have my gloves.
I don't know whose glove this is, but I might use it.
It's like a winter glove. Yeah, sure.
What is that? That's a fallen down tree. Down branches.
So it hangs to the right and then it hangs to the left again. And then it hangs down. Small ribbon, you know.
Looks like the storm turned right. We're still going down this road, Kevin, so it's curving around. This should be very close to where the main part of the hail core
You're
came
still
through.
getting hail.
We're still getting some hail. It's not very big hail. We've seen a lot of branches and leaves on the ground.
Check like in the dirt area. You see anything?
Nothing big.
We need to go out into the would all be embedded into the grass.
Yeah, I'm looking real quick. knocked off
This
here.
is where
That's a hill.
I don't think it will be on this road. We're gonna stop right here. Right here.
Yeah. You go back a little further. There's a rainbow. All right, Kevin, we're gonna get. Tornado one. Right?
We'll just come back here. Here, I'm gonna put it right here. So this is still looking. It's like really low.
So that's the biggest you found.
Just over $50. Is that still tornado warning?